Hello everyone, sorry I'm a bit late. Had a delivery arrive at 1 o'clock. He rang me and said, I don't know where you are. I'm on this street and am I anywhere near you? So sorry for the delay. I hope you can join me. As you can see, I've already got makeup on because I've been out this morning. Let me straighten my hairband. Let's take it off and start again. I'm wearing hairbands a lot at the moment for two reasons. Because one, I'm in desperate need of a haircut, as you can probably see. And secondly, although it's actually been cleaned quite recently, I'm struggling to wash my hair at the moment because I cannot get in the shower due to my foot ulcer. Anyway, you don't need to know that. So I'm having to do everything by the sink and yeah, da 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 da. Right, that'll do. I just wanted to twist it so you can see both colours of this headband. Okay, so this morning I have used my Foreo and I've got some tips, some further tips about the Foreo when some of you come online. And I've got loads of boxes around me today so that you can ask to see certain things and palettes and whatever. So I'll just wait and see if anybody's coming online. So yes, so I'll tell you what I put on my face this morning. Actually, I'm just going to get something to kind of moisturize under my eyes. So I bet you one of you is going to come online just as I'm off screen, but just bear with me. No, I thought somebody had come online then. Just bear with me and hopefully I can get my hands on this thing. I'm still here, guys. I'm just in the background trying to find something that I need. There we are. Right, okay. So I'm going to dab this. Oh, hello, someone's joined me. Hi, Deborah. I've just been out. My eyes have watered, so I look about, well, my under eyes look about 80 years old. So I'm just putting some of this hydrating booster on. So I've put some makeup on this morning, but because I was going out. But I can top up, and I thought, thank you very much. So I'll tell you what I did. So I did my Foreo, and I've got a little tip when others join, so I'm not repeating myself. I will tell you about this Foreo tip because it's a real game changer. And then I put on the CC cream, and then I put some no colour RCMA powder, and then I just did a load of I used Tom Ford's face palette and a little bit of Charlotte's highlighter, and then I sprayed my face, and I put on, this is MAC paint pot, and I've got all my paint pots here in case you want to see them. So this one is called Stormy Pink, and I love this one. And then I put on Daniel's eyeliner in blue, and then I finished off by putting the Yves Saint Laurent mascara in blue to make my eyes pop. I love the CC cream now, and I really love the smell. It's so yummy. I have my cup of tea with me. The only people that call me Alison, by the way, are people that are annoyed with me. Or when I was at work, I was called Alison, but everyone else calls me Ali, including my family. Lemon meringue. Lemon meringue? Hang on. What do you mean, lemon meringue? I don't know what you mean, lemon meringue. Tell me what you mean. Oh, this... I was thinking, is she talking about a colour of a... I'm so dippy today. Well, I'm always dippy. Yeah, it does smell a bit like that. It does smell scrummy. And I love the fact that... I'm not sure... Do you put on sunscreen as well as that? Because I know it's SPF of 50. But I do wonder whether or not you put enough. You don't. I wonder whether you put enough on, because normally with sunscreen, you put a lot more on. And I saw something by, oh, in the summer, yeah, I saw something by Wayne Goss that said, you know, if you put enough sunscreen on, in terms of foundation, you would put way too much foundation on. But sometimes I do, because I just can't be bothered to do both. I did this morning. Hello, Robin. I'm so fair. Any sun, I go red and no problems just using the CC. Well, for me, it's the hyperpigmentation. Now, I've got an apology. If Pamela comes on, I have been trying this morning to remove the battery from my smoke alarm because it's really irritating her. And I can understand how it's irritating because I've just got used to it. And I've had YouTube videos on and everything. And I cannot get this thing out. So what I've done is I've shut the door behind me. So hopefully it won't be as noticeable. But I'm going to get the other half to have a look at it tonight and see if we can rip it off the wall. You should, you know, this is a thing. Can I just have a little moan about fire alarms and then smoke alarms? They go on about it's important that you change the battery. They go on about it's important you change the battery. Then why don't they make it easy to actually take the thing off? I cannot work out. I've watched this YouTube video and it had about 5 different types of smoke alarm and I cannot work out how to get the top off to change the battery. I cannot work it out. So if they are so keen on people changing the batteries, which obviously I'm keen on it too. I have got another working one, by the way. But then they should make it, or at least have instructions on the device about here's where to open up the device to change the battery. Sorry, my little moan over. So what do you want me to do today? So I put on, let me show you some of, let me show you. Yeah, that's the thing. Hi, Shoshana. Any news on your device? Have you raised merry hell with them this morning? I thought what I'd do is I'd start off. I've got some palettes. Nothing. Oh, that's terrible. That is really terrible. So the moral of the story is don't order from Dr. Dennis Gross. What I thought I'd do, because I put a bit of makeup on, but I can put some over the top. Because all this is a MAC paint pot. I thought I'd show you some of my MAC paint pots. Because I think, you know, most people use the soft ochre or Painterly as a primer. But they don't realise that you can get colours. And you can use the colours. And they go on, you can put them on their own. But they make a brilliant base for pigments as well. Or for any eyeshadow. Certainly if you want to put a shimmery one on, they will really help it to stick. So I've got, let me just get these for you and I'll show you. Excuse me, leaning off camera. I have got, apart from soft oak, I have got 6 paint pots. There's one that I want to get that's on my wish list. I've got a little wish list. I gave it my sister for Christmas and it's like huge. But I said, I don't want you to get me everything on it. I just like surprises. So if I give you a long list, then I have no idea what you're going to get me. So I've got six paint pots so that you can see. So I was obviously wearing purple today. So the one that I've used on my eyes today is a kind of matte lilac and it's beautiful. It just works. It works brilliantly on its own. It looks a bit muddy and a bit grey in the pot. But as you can see on my eyes, let me just top a little bit up. It goes on lilac. It's really beautiful. So I'll just swatch you that one. But do give me a shout if you want me to swatch anything, because I've got all my boxes around me. So hopefully I should be able to put my hands on something. It is, isn't it? Then there's another one that I got in purple, which I haven't used as much. it's got a shimmer in it and it's darker, called Frozen Violet. I can still hear it chirping away. How do you compare pots of shadow like G? I don't understand, Shoshana. Can you explain a bit more what you mean? That, oh, like Trini versus Charlotte. Right, with these paint pots are very similar to the Trini London Stat ones. I would say they're slightly longer wearing. I don't think that Trini's formula and Charlotte's compare, because Charlotte's is a lot creamier, like a lot. Trini's is more of a stiff texture like this, so you know it's just, whereas Charlotte's is a lot creamier. I've got one here, I'll show you in a second. So that is Stormy Pink, okay, and then I've got, see, I get very organised with my makeup. It's the one thing I am organised with. So I've got a Dymo machine, and I put all the names in really big letters on the boxes. I've got Rubenesque. Now, Rubenesque is beautiful. This one's a shimmery one. And this works beautiful. Look at that. Can you see that? Hang on. Look at that. It is stunning. It's a kind of pinky rose gold. It's really lovely. And once these set on your eyes, they really stay on all day. But they make brilliant bases as well. I think it's a shame when people only use soft ochre and painterly, that they can use all these other ones. Then there's one called Quite Natural, which is quite natural. And I often use this, like, I could do that today. I could use this. I'll show you. So this one is kind of just a plain sort of matte brown, which probably doesn't seem very exciting. But what I do with this is I can just take my finger and just put that into the socket to define the crease a bit more. And they blend out beautifully, as you can see. See? Better do the other eye. And they work well with brushes as well. I'm just being lazy. And then there's Indian Wood. Indian Wood is another stunner. The one that I want to get is Constructivist, which is a sort of darker coppery brown, shimmery brown. So this is Indian Wood. So that's more of a gold, but it's a browny gold. Yes, I think MAC are not very good with their stock either. They've always said, oh no, we haven't got that in stock. So that's Indian Wood. That is stunning. And also, if you're wanted to use like a coppery shimmer on your eyelid, and you use that as a base instead of soft ochre, it will really help it to pop. And then the last one is Laying Low. Laying Low I often use if I want to do a very natural look, heading out in the morning, and I just want to do a bit of a no makeup look because it looks brilliant. So you were talking about how this compares to a Charlotte. So that one's, it's sort of a putty shade. And I compare that very much to, Trini's got one called Fortune. and it's very similar to that. You just put that on your eyelids and it just gives you a little bit of definition, but it's sort of the no makeup look, and it really looks lovely on. So yeah, so the Charlotte's ones are called Eyes to Mesmerise, and they're a lot creamier. Let me show you those. I won't show you them all, but if there's a particular one, I've got them all, of course. I've got all of Charlotte's anyway. So here's Marie Antoinette. And you can see there. Now, but the formula is a lot less stiff. It's more of a creamy texture. So if I just put that, I'm running out of arm space here. But if I just put that there, you could see it's a lot more it's a lot thinner than the matte one. The matte one, if you try and rub it away now, I've just put Charlotte's over the top of it, but if you try and rub that, it just doesn't budge, look. And I'm putting quite a bit of pressure on. They just don't budge. Charlotte's does a bit. Mind you, I've only just put that on, so that's not fair, but they just don't budge. Look at that. If I just do that, you can see the amount of pressure that I'm putting on. So I have to remember to remove those later, or they'll be on for 2 days. I'll be sat out somewhere and my other half will say, what are those lines? So I thought what I might do, if anybody's got any questions or things you'd like to see, then just shout up. But I thought what I would do is I would put layer something over the top of this, and I thought I use an eyeshadow palette that you won't have seen me use before. I don't think I've ever used this on a tutorial, and it's Violet Voss Nicole Consiglio, and I bought this ages ago, but it's very nice. I think it's got purples in it. Maybe it hasn't. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe not. Maybe it won't work over this. But anyway, look, I'll show it you. I was thinking it might. There's a blue in there that I could use. Can you see? Look. There's some beautiful colours. This is a stunner. This blue. And there's this one here. Lovely gold. Really lovely warm shades. So there's that one. And there's Naked Heat as well. I still can't decide on what palettes to get. Anyone got any questions? Because I'm kind of rambling away here. Or anything you want to see. Because I've got loads of boxes around. Do you like that brand? What? Violet Voss. To be honest, that's the only palette I've got from Violet Voss. I think I got to the point where I'd got... Yeah, I got to the point where I'd got all of Charlotte's. I thought, oh, I better venture out of my comfort zone a bit. And that's the only one I've got of Violet Voss. I've got Huda, got a few Huda palettes, and I've got Naked Heat, and I've got the rose gold one, which isn't at hand, but I've got the Naked Heat 3, but I've got the Naked Heat. Sorry, Naked 3 and Naked Heat. So that's Naked Heat. I could use a bit of that. Do you want me to use a bit of that? Natural versus or dyed versus undated. I'm starting to get interested. I tend not to think of it in terms of natural versus synthetic, but more about the shapes that I like. I just don't really think about it. In terms of brands, I do like Real Techniques. And I'm not as keen on Charlotte's, and Charlotte's are natural, aren't they? So I suppose synthetic. And I like the MAC brushes. But yeah, I've never really thought about synthetic versus natural, really. It's more about what shapes are good, and what shapes give me... Sonia G. Who's Sonia G? You're all catching me out now. I don't know Sonia G. Should I know Sonia G? See, you're all just as into makeup as me. And so there's going to be names I don't know that you know. I've never heard of Sonia G. Who is she? Should I know? Oh, really? I'll look her up. I've not heard of her. I haven't got a Wayne Goss brush either. Shall I use a bit of this Naked Heat while we're chatting away? Let me use a bit of this. Oh, goat hair. I think goat hair is supposed to be very good, isn't it? It's supposed to be very soft. I'm definitely going to look her up then afterwards. You know me, I like doing my research at night when everybody's in bed. I was up all last night. I haven't slept at all. Not at all. And I don't feel tired. It's really weird. Let me put a bit of... I'm going to use a brush that's in the palette. I'm just going to put a tiny little bit of this Ashes, which is a purple one. Oh, well, if Wayne likes her brushes, they must be good, because his brushes are supposed to be Beautylish. Okay, I'll have a look. So I'm just putting some of this purple from Naked Heat over the top. I tell you what I can put on the lid, which will look... I wanted to show you this because I love doing this combo. I've got a MAC pigment in Kitschmas. I have one of his and it's really nice. I keep meaning to get one. You know what? I'm a bit afraid that if I get one, then I want to get all of them. I think that's the case, isn't it? Not all of them, but I want to get a load more. Squirrel? Really? Weren't there... Now, I might be imagining this, because I think Real Techniques are synthetic, aren't they? But why do I think that their powder blue collection was squirrel? I'm sure I heard that they were squirrel, and yet I'm sure that they're synthetic. So maybe I've just dreamt that up. Sorry about the chirping. Oh, right, so they might be. Oh, it was made to mock squirrel. That makes sense. So I take it squirrel fur is very soft. Do they kill a squirrel? Or do they just shave them? I'm being naive, aren't I? They don't shave them. Oh, it's ethical. Okay, that's all right then. I was going to show you this MAC pigment, which goes beautifully over Stormy Pink. It will turn it into something that isn't matte. But, doesn't matter. So this is called Kitschmas, which always reminds me of Christmas. And I only get... well, they only do... I think MAC only do about between 6 and 8 of them in travel sizes. Hello, Thorndike. but they're actually all you need, because the larger one, unless you want a colour that they don't do in the travel size, because they just last forever. Unless you were putting it over your entire face. And I'm just going to press this on with my finger, because this just works beautifully over this. And the paint pot makes it stick. I'm just pressing it. See how it just makes them pop even more. And I saw Pixie Woo doing a video where she used Constructivist, which is the one that I want, that I haven't got, which is kind of a dark reddy brown copper paint pot, and she used copper pigment over the top, and that looked gorgeous as well. So I think the pigments and the paint pots work really well together, because they really help the pigments to adhere. It's good playing with makeup, isn't it? I've got all my Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks next to me. I've got all the Eyes to Mesmerise. I've got a few palettes. Yeah, so if there's anything you want, and I've got some Huda as well. If there's anything you want to see, just shout out, and I will see if I can find it for you. Because I kind of haven't got a plan for what to do today. And the fact that I already had my makeup on, excuse me a second, I'll tell you what I haven't used very much of. Oh, now that some time has passed, how are you liking her Superstar formula? What Superstar lips I've got on? I've got Confident Lips. I actually like them. I feel they make my skin feel really comfortable. Now this is something that I haven't used very much. I'm just wiping my hands, because otherwise I'm going to get pigment all over my face if I'm not careful. I got this free, and I didn't even know I was getting it free. You know when sometimes you're ordering and it says buy this and you get this free? I didn't even know until it arrived that I was getting this for free, and it's full size. I bought something by Kevin Aquan on Cult Beauty, and when it arrived it came with this, and it said free. And actually it's about £45 worth of product, and it's called the Celestial Skin Liquid Lighting. And I just looked down there and thought, oh, I haven't used that in a while. Because I got it free, I tend to forget about it. Probably needed to shake it a bit. Just wanted to see what this looks like over. It looks quite brown though. I don't know whether to use it as a bronzer. Let me try it as a bronzer. Be nice to have a celestial glow. Oh, right, now now that a few of you are on, I wanted to tell you a little bit of an update about my Foreo. I managed to get some wipes. If you go on Amazon and you look up disposable towels like this material is fine. And I cut a load of these out into the shape, and I use those. Be careful what skincare you're using, because I used something that just got really sticky and it felt like I had glue on my face at the end of it. And so I ended up having to kind of wipe it off afterwards. But I ended up, because I've been enjoying it so much and using my Foreo, and my skin, I can really tell a difference with my hyperpigmentation even now. But I'm going to wait. I'm going to sort of refrain from being that excited until I've got my 6-week photograph, and I'm going to let you lot decide by looking at the photos. But I got really into it, so I ended up, I've got all the masks now, and I'm in an iron about whether or not I needed to get the Matte Maniac, because I've got very dry skin, and obviously the matte one is for acne prone oily skin, but you know I do have an oily T-zone. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to try it. You know, nothing ventured, nothing gained. And I tried it all over my face. It didn't dry my face out. It didn't kind of moisturize it heavily either. But it was so... Does the skincare go on the towel? Yes, that's right. So I cut this into shape, and then I put that onto the Foreo device, and then I just put my skincare onto it and use it as I would normally. So it means I don't have to wash out, which is not very brilliant, is it? So anyway, so with this Matte Maniac, really excited about this, right? So with the Matte Maniac, obviously then I got the program, and the program cools the skin down, which helps to tighten pores. And I discovered that it makes the most fantastic primer. So yesterday I used this Matte Maniac, and then I put my foundation over the top, and my foundation just looked flawless, and all the open pores around here, you see, it just... Now, I didn't use the Matte Maniac mask this morning. I used one of the other masks. I think it was the... oh no, I used some of my own skincare, right? But I put it... So I did my own skincare with the Glow program, and then I turned it off and turned it back on, and I scanned in the Matte Maniac program to finish off, because it cools your face down and it tightens your pores. And it just... Look at my pores. You can't see them. And on my nose. So the program, even... It's worth buying one packet of Matte Maniac. They're not going to dry... It's not going to dry your skin out. It will dry it. It won't moisturize it, but it's like putting like a kind of mattifying gel on, right? So if you've got dry skin, you might not want to do that. But it's worth buying a packet of the Matte Maniac to get the program, which has got the cooling cryotherapy. It's got it for a bit more of the program than the one for the eyes. And then you can use whichever mask you want with that program and finish off, do your program for whatever mask you want, and finish off and switch over to the Matte Maniac program, and it will close your pores, and it just primes your face beautifully before you put your makeup on. And I'm sure you know, you can remember that I have got a lot of open pores around here and on my nose, and it's just shrunk them because it's got cryotherapy. So I was so excited about it. So it's definitely worth getting the Matte Maniac, even if you end up not using many of the masks, just to get the program, because it's a brilliant way of priming your face after you've put all that warming treatment on, just cooling your face down and getting it ready for your foundation. Hello there, Mimi. So I was so excited about that discovery. Can you tell? But it really has. And can you see how it's made my foundation stay? So Foreo, I'm just singing the Foreo's praises. And I'm not sponsored by them. You know that, because I've told you all that. I think... Do you know what, Foreo, if they saw my review, say, I called them greedy, didn't I? So you know I'm not sponsored by them. Their masks are good, though. And I was working it out. So the day mask and the night mask are $9.99 for 7 masks. I worked it out, that's about £1.40 per mask. And the other ones at 18.99 are about £3.20 a mask. So they're not bad. And then obviously you can make your own and you can put your own skincare. But I put this serum on, and I had this serum and I thought, oh, that's the same sort of consistency, and I put it on and it was like I'd put glue on my face. So you have to experiment a bit with what works with it. But yeah, I'm really loving my Foreo UFO. And I definitely, if you're going to go for it, save up and get the big one, because the cryotherapy is just, you can't get that cooling and pore shrinking feature unless you get the full size one. And it's just not worth it otherwise. I think you get the heating sensation and you get everything else, but you don't get the cryotherapy, and I think that's worth it. And the way I think about it, you know, I kept thinking, oh, I bought all the masks and I bought, but I thought, you know, I had said to myself I was going to go for like monthly facials when I retired, and because of my foot and for whatever reason, I've not managed to get to one. And if you think how much one facial costs you, you've got cryotherapy, heat therapy, massage therapy, LED treatment, and mask all at home. It actually becomes, exactly, it's cheaper. It sounds like I'm doing a sales pitch for them, but I'm loving it so much. And it's also something about what I do at night is I put it on. When I use it at night, I wait till my other half's in bed, Jack's in bed, and it's me time, you know. I cleanse my face and I get my Foreo out, and the music on the app as well, it gives you kind of soothing music and stuff. And one of the things I must tell you, because if you're a musician, you'll know this, very clever, that the music that they've chosen with each of the masks is at the same pitch as the ultrasonic intensity. And I've noticed it. So, because they've got 10 different intensities of ultrasonic, and they've picked the music. So as you are hearing this ultrasonic, the music will be at that pitch. Very clever. Anyway, anybody got anything they want me to swatch? Speak now. So I'm using this, by the way, under my eye. My eyes have been watering a lot. But I've been using this because it's called a Hydrating Booster by Simple. And I just dab this. When my eyes water and they dry out, I just dab this underneath. And if you dab it, it doesn't disturb your makeup. But it just stops your under eyes from drying out. But you can see that thing that was on my head is nearly gone. Now, I did use that azelaic acid as well. And I definitely would recommend that, because I saw this dermatologist that I've been watching, Dr. Sam Bunting. She talked about azelaic acid. It's good for acne, it's good for hyperpigmentation, and you can get it really cheaply from The Ordinary. It's about £5 from Cult Beauty. And it's what they would... No, it's not an acid peel. So it's called azelaic acid, but it's just a cream, and you rub it on. And she said it's what we would prescribe, but now you can get it, you know, over the counter, because The Ordinary sell it. What I did find a little bit when I started to use it is a bit of a tingly itch for about a minute after I used it. But it just then went away. So just be a bit careful when you first apply it. It can feel a little bit uncomfortable, a bit sort of itchy in a very uncomfortable way. But it goes. it goes after about a minute. And I don't get it now. But it was when I started using it, I did. And it does, be careful going near your eyes. Not because, I don't know, it's probably not a good thing to go too near your eyes. I do put some down here. But the reason that I said be careful is because it is quite drying. And you might find that your skin starts to flake a little bit with it. But I think that's really been helping it as well. I think the combination of that azelaic acid and then pointing the green light has kind of turned it around. Now, I want to know from everyone, can you see that this eye is not as good as this eye? And this eye has really been kind of, I've noticed a difference using that eye mask and everything. And I was thinking it must be because this is my dominant hand. Does anyone else have that, where their dominant hand, that their under eye looks better on that side? I tell you what, Mimi, I've tried his alpha beta peel mask, and I like those. I'm very tempted. I've made a little note to myself that if this Foreo device carries on being as good as it is, I might invest next year, put some money aside and invest in his eye mask. It's like a pair of goggles, because that's got LED therapy, but it's specifically going to target right round my eyes. He's got the face one, which Shoshana's ordered. And Shoshana had actually got me to look at it. But there's one just specifically for the eyes. I probably don't need the face one because I've got the Foreo. But there's only so far the Foreo can get into the contours of your eyes. So, yeah. So I do like the idea of that. And I think if the Foreo, if I'm starting to see a lot of effects from the Foreo around this hyperpigmentation, then that means the LED light works for me. Then I might invest next year, put some money aside and invest in the eye one. The eye one is, the goggles on their own, about 160. Yeah, is she? Yeah, the goggles are about 160. The full face mask is, what is it, Shoshana? About 430, I think. But as I said, because I've got the Foreo, I don't think I need to get another face device. But I might, in that I would imagine this is going to be more concentrated around the eyes. And that's really where I've noticed. Yeah, well, I would definitely, Shoshana, if you have any difficulties and you end up getting a refund or whatever, I definitely go to Cult Beauty because I've never had a problem with them. And now I've said that, I probably will, but you know what it's like. But Cult Beauty sell Dr. Dennis Gross. Yeah, it is 160. So the eye goggles. So they're eye goggles and they basically point the light and you put it on for 3 minutes a day. And yeah, I think I'd like to do that. But I'm going to wait. We've got Christmas coming up and, you know, I'm not broke or anything, but I want to rein it in a little bit because you can't just go mad about everything. And also, if you start trying out all these, they're more on the flat loss and volume. Oh, they're the same on both, are they? If you start trying out everything all at once and you don't know what's working and what isn't, you know, some people could say, well, I haven't been that scientific with doing this because I started using azelaic acid at the same time as the Foreo device, which is true. But I think it did actually help. I've only been putting the azelaic on here and a little bit round there. So the rest of my face is the Foreo. And I definitely feel like I don't need as much foundation at the moment. So I'm looking forward to the 6 weeks. before and after to see if you can see a difference. And what I might do as well is search out some video of me with no makeup on 6 weeks ago. And she tried the acid, they do work. But this acid is not a peeling acid, it's just, it's a bit like, I think it's similar to salicylic. Well, Mimi, I found that my skin was a little bit irritated when I first started using it. Just got a bit itchy for about a minute after I applied it. Bit like, you know, when you start using vitamin C and your skin tingles. But this is tingles, but it tingles and itches. But it went after about a minute. And it does dry out a bit, so be careful putting it on very dry patches. Because it will get a bit crusty. Anybody want to see any other makeup or lipsticks before I come off? I'm just going to drink my tea and see if anybody's got anything they want me to show them. Yes, okay, what do you want to, what would you like me to show you, Mimi? I tell you, you know what now? It's easier to tell you what lipsticks I don't have. Tom Ford. Okay. You love seeing any makeup, anything. Okay. I'll tell you what I've got, Tom Ford. Let me see, where is my Tom Ford? I have this palette, face palette of Tom Ford's. Comes in its own little bag that keeps it nice and shiny. So this is it, and this is a highlighter. Bronzer, blush and highlighter. The highlighter is very subtle, but it is beautiful. He doesn't do really blinging highlighters, I don't think. The blush is really pretty. And then the bronzer. And then I've got some lipsticks of Tom Ford, and I've got, of course, I've got his cream eyeshadows. Let me show you those. I have them here. I have got, this one is called Golden Peach, which is my absolute favourite. So it's got the powder at the top, which is a bit like Charlotte's Pop Shades. And you can see it's the little mirror there. And then underneath is the cream. I'm not sure that this is going to last as long as Charlotte's. It's already starting to look. London Suede. He's got so many lipsticks, doesn't he? That was recommended to me by Deborah. And it is beautiful. And it lasts and lasts. If you look back, I did a video when Charlotte brought out her rose gold Eyes to Mesmerise. Because they're very similar. And I did a full day's wear test, and it didn't hold up Charlotte's very well against this. This looked exactly as it was when I put it on in the morning. Right, so this one, they're expensive, but they are worth it. This looked exactly, mind you, when I said that, if you look back at the video, I worked out how much it would cost per mil compared to Charlotte's, and it's actually not that much more expensive. I think they're about the same. I store them. No, I don't actually. I should, shouldn't I? That's probably a good idea. I do I keep them in their boxes, and that's what I do with my paint pots, and I keep them in the dark So I put them away. And now I've heard that the lipsticks don't last very long. But I actually haven't got that many, and I haven't had them for very long. So I've got, these are sheer lipstick. Now this is almost identical to the one that I'm wearing from Charlotte's. I'll show you. So this one is called, what's this one called? Luscious. Now let me just wipe my hands a bit. Here, this is Luscious. I'm running out of. Right, so it's a sheer kind of glossy lipstick, and it's almost identical to Confident Lips, which is what I've got on. Very similar formula. So if you like Charlotte's formula, but there's a colour that you don't have, that you want to see, have a look. They're called Ultra Shine Lip Colour, Tom Ford Soleil Ultra Shine, and they're in the white packaging. They bought them out at summer. I'm making you spend a lot of money then, am I? Right, so let me show you. So this one's Charlotte's Confident Lips. And this one is very similar. But again, now, I reckon that you're going to get a lot more for your money on Tom Ford's. How much is in this? Come on, give me an amount. 3.3 grams as opposed to Charlotte's. What's Charlotte's? 1.8 grams. Yeah, the boys and girls are smaller, and I've got one of the smaller ones. I'll show you. It was the first lipstick I got, and I was so annoyed. I didn't realise I was getting a small lipstick, and the price that I'd paid for it, I didn't buy any Tom Ford for ages after that, because I felt like I'd been duped. But this is Charlotte's Confident Lips. It's slightly brighter, but you can see they're very similar formula. So, you know, Charlotte's only got 6, and some of them are sold out. So if you want to go for a similar formula, have a look at the Tom Ford Soleil. So I've got that one, which is called Luscious. This is called Luscious. That's Charlotte's Confident Lips. And I've got another one called Bare. Now Bare, I regretted getting Bare because it's a little bit too pale for me. But what I do is I mix it. No, he's not. I mix it to make other lipsticks lighter and glossier. But it is a bit too pale for me on its own. But that's Bare. If I put a lip liner underneath, what I tend to do with that is I'll put Pillow Talk under, or lip liner, and then put that over the top, and it's just enough to warm it up enough. But it's, if you're fair skinned, that would look beautiful. That's Bare. And then the one that I got, my very first purchase, where I felt I'd been duped, was this one. Now that's the size of the little ones, and this one is called Hero. I love this one because it is I tell you what, Deborah, you'll like this one, because Deborah likes her oranges and her corals. This is beautiful. It's a shimmery, corally orange, and it looks really nice. Lovely with the Naked Heat palette. And that's what I think that's why I got it, because I got Naked Heat and I wanted a shimmery orange. I haven't seen his, oh no, I have seen his new quads, yes. I'll tell you the one that I would like to get of Tom Ford's is the Honeymoon palette. Has anyone got it? I love the look of that. Absolutely. But they are expensive. But you do get more for your money. I think it's just that general outlay. It kind of puts you off a little bit. He should do what he's done with his lipsticks and make smaller versions of. because it's like his bronzers. His bronzer is really massive amount, and really expensive. Yeah, they are. They do look stunning. I saw, I've forgotten her name, but she does a lot of Tom Ford reviews. Oh, Pat McGrath, I haven't got any of hers either. By the way, a while back, I did a video which was using Huda's Desert Dusk palette. And I put that on one eye and I put a dupe on the other eye. And it's a company called Beauty Glazed that sells on Amazon. And I don't know how they get away with it, but they don't call it Beauty Glazed, but they make it obvious through the packaging that they're copying. But they don't call it, you know, they're not trying to fool anyone. You know, they're not pretending it is Huda's palette. But you can tell. So they copy a lot of eyeshadows. And when I did this, and I did an Instagram, and I asked people to guess, everybody guessed that this palette, which cost £7, was the Huda Beauty one. And I had promised it to my sister, and I was actually quite reluctant to let it go because the pigment was actually better than the Huda Beauty. Now, the reason I'm telling you this is because I spotted the other day that they have brought out a dupe of the new nude palette. Now, I don't know how good it is, but if it's anything like the Desert Dusk, £7. You know, so if you don't have the money to spend £58 on a palette, but you like the colours in the Huda nude palette, have a look. Look up Beauty Glazed on Amazon and you'll see from the packaging which one it is. They've got a copy of the Jaclyn Hill palette, Desert Dusk, Rose Gold palette, and you can tell by the way they've made the packaging look similar enough so that you can tell which one it is that they're trying to copy. And if you look back at the video, everybody thought, there wasn't one person, I think, that guessed correctly. I don't think, there might have been one on Instagram, but I think there was one on Instagram, but nobody seemed to guess. And my sister's now got that palette. I promised it her, so I gave it her. And it's as pigmented, if not better, than the Huda one. So if you really want to get, I'm considering getting the Beauty Glaze one, because £58 a lot of money for a palette. Who knows? I think I'm going to get the she's very happy with it. I think I'm probably going to settle on the new Anastasia Beverly Hills palette, the sultry one. I think I'm going to get that, but I might wait till after Christmas and see if there's any sales on. Anyway, yeah, well, maybe the other thing that I've promised is that for those of you in London, that I will try and organise a get-together. Oh, those of you in the UK, if you want to travel down to London, maybe do a trip to Charlotte Tilbury or Bobbi Brown or anywhere in Covent Garden, and you're going to stumble on some pretty good makeup shops. Yeah, I think I'm going to get sultry. But we'll see. But yeah, if I did do a get together and a meet up, I could always film it and then other people could kind of join in online. That could be a way around it. So yeah, I wouldn't want to leave people out that are not in the UK. Or I might just do a trip to Charlotte Tilbury, and because I know one of the makeup artists there. Mind you, she's travelling around the world with Charlotte Tilbury a lot these days, so she might not be in the shop much at the moment. But she did my makeup and we kept in contact, so I might go and get my makeup done by her and then film it and get her to talk to you guys. Come to Ireland. I'd love to. My other half's originally from Ireland. He's not. He was born here, but his family are from Ireland. Okay, well, I'm going to go. So thank you for joining me today. And if you think of anything after I come off, don't worry, just put a comment down below. You know I'll always reply to your comments. I love answering your questions and that, especially when I've got insomnia in the middle of the night. I sit there and I'll go off and do my research if I don't know the answer. It's great. So, yeah, just do feel free to ask me any questions. And we're getting very close to 500 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please do subscribe, because that would be a great Christmas present for me to get to 500 subscribers by Christmas. Anyway, take care, and I will see you. I'll probably do a Foundation Friday. I might put up the one that I did last week that I didn't actually upload. But we'll see. Okay, take care. Have a great day, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye.